Hello, this is CJ Lindberg, also known as Carl Lindberg Jr. and the online marketing aficionado. Thank you for joining me on Facebook Live, and today's topic is how to create more time in your life. As some of you know, I'm involved with 3 different online businesses, and when I talk to people about these businesses, one of the most frequent things I hear is, I just don't have time for that. And the same thing happened to me. I have a full-time job working as a paralegal. I commute an hour and a half round trip, and it's a challenge to find enough time in the day to do everything that I want to do. So I started looking for ways to maximize my time and to create more time, and I came across a few things that I've tried that have worked for me that I'm sharing with you today. I will warn you, these are not necessarily easy, but they are worthwhile. So number 1 on the list is the basic wisdom is that we need 7 to 9 hours of sleep per day, and I don't think that's true. I did some research on this, and some people get along fine with 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep as long as it's quality sleep. So what I tried to do is reduce my sleep from 7.5 hours a night down to 5 hours. To create another couple hours a day to do what I need to do. And so I've got a list of some famous people, how much they sleep, and this was interesting to me. Barack Obama sleeps 6 hours a night from 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. Mozart slept from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. That's the 5 hours I'm looking for. Madonna only sleeps about 4 hours a night. Thomas Edison was a polyphasic sleeper. He would sleep for 20 minutes every 3 hours. And Da Vinci was similar. He would do 20 minutes to 2 hours several times per day. So you don't have to take a large block of your life to sleep. You can distribute it, figure out what works best for you, and maybe cut back on it and create some more time in your day. Like I mentioned earlier, I used to get up, I used to go to bed around 11 and get up at 7. Then I cut back an hour so I could work out in the mornings, and I thought, well, if I can get up at 6, I should be able to get up at 5:30. And so I started with that, and then more recently I'm getting up at 5 now. So there's an evening ritual I do that really helps me wind down and get to sleep when I need to. The biggest problem for me was my head was always spinning with ideas and the things I needed to do and wanted to accomplish the next day or two. So in an effort to calm down my mind at night, I would just watch TV for maybe a half an hour or so, then between around 10 and 11, then I'd read a book for 15, 20 minutes. And then the thing I've been doing the last 2 weeks is meditation. I downloaded an app called Let's Meditate. It's like a guided meditation or a speaking meditation when somebody's talking to you, instructing you what to do and how to put your mind at ease, and that's been really helpful to me. I found I've even fallen asleep during the meditation a couple times, so I highly recommend that. If you want to know more about that particular aspect of the evening routine that I use, send me a message or make a comment, and I'll send you a YouTube video that I found that has the whole routine spelled out. And then the second thing I've done, I've talked about this before, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it now, as you don't need to eat 3 meals a day. It's time consuming. Some studies indicate it may not even be healthy. So I cut back to 2 meals a day back in June, and now I'm down to 1 meal a day. And I've talked about that in other videos about my weight loss. So again, I'm not going to focus on that aspect other than to say it's created another hour in my day, which is really cool. In the morning, I often get caught up on emails and my social media contacts, and in the afternoon when I'm at work through my smartphone, I do the same thing, and so I'm able to deal with that mostly in the morning and the afternoon, which leave my evenings free to do other things. So I've saved an hour by cutting down to 1 meal a day. So there's my 3 hours. I sleep 2 hours less. and that's been going really well. I should probably tell you how I'm doing with that. It's not easy to make that transition. The first 3 or 4 days I was pretty groggy, especially in the mid-afternoon, but I'm used to it now, and I sleep really well at night, and I probably sleep better now with the 5 hours than I was before with the 7 to 8. So that's something to take into consideration. It is a health issue, so you'll have to try it out, figure out what works best for you. That also applies to the 1 or 2 meals a day. That concept is called intermittent fasting. There's a lot of information online about it, so check that out if you're interested. And then finally, if you're going to undertake a significant project, like starting a home business, or maybe being more involved with your church, or some other charity type situation that could take time away from your family, you may just have to sit them down and tell them that for a period of time you're just not going to be as available as you used to be, and then fill them in on the big picture. Instead of just withdrawing and checking out and not explaining it, tell your kids and talk to your spouse about what you want to do, that you want to start a home business for the purpose of making your lives better, and in the future having more time to spend with them if the home business succeeds. So having that talk with your family is really important in getting them on board. They may not agree with what you're doing, but they'll probably at least understand it and the motivation. I've talked to my daughter about this, because when she visits me, usually she's used to having our blocks of time, totally with each other. But I have to break away from time to time to take care of some business calls, and she understands that, and she's okay with it. Actually, she probably prefers it. She'd rather go in her room and watch YouTube videos anyway than sometimes hang out with Dad. But the point is, she's in the loop, and she knows what I'm doing, and she understands and supports me, and I appreciate that. Now I'd like to talk about some things just to maximize your time, to use it in a better way. And these are just things I found that I like to do, that I can usually do 2 things at once. I'm generally not very good at multitasking, but these tips have made my life better, and hopefully they do the same for you. The first thing I do is plan my day. I use Google Tasks and Google Keep to keep me organized. I usually have 2 or 3 things I want to accomplish that day, and then I use Outlook tasks at work to do the same thing. If you have something in the morning that you want to do, you can usually make time and find the energy and do what you need to do to get those things done. So be organized immediately, early in the morning. Disciplined TV watching. This was tough for me because I love watching TV. Amazon, Netflix, cable, This Is Us on network TV. What a great show. I think that's the best show on network TV since Little House on the Prairie. Anyway, so all those things are a draw to me to try to take away from for what I need to do. So I limit myself to 1 hour a day during the week, and I have to accomplish my to-do list first. I have to sort of earn the TV time. It's sort of like being a kid. You have to finish your dinner before you get to eat the treat, which was something my mother imposed on us as kids, and that's the attitude I have towards TV now. On the weekends, I'm more casual about it. I like my sports, and I try to watch games with friends and family. So that's a social situation and sort of an exception. So next is, whenever I'm doing something boring or tedious that I have to do, I always have music or a podcast or an audiobook or something that's going to make me feel better or teach me something. I do my personal development this way. There's a lot of books you can get on Audible, and there are several podcasts. I use Google Play Music to listen to streamed music. It also has a variety of podcasts, and I listen to those that relate to my businesses. So that way, while I'm driving to work, since I have probably an hour and a half where I'm on the road, at least half that time I'm involved in a podcast or a training of some kind to maximize that time and make it useful. The last thing on that list is to telecommute 1 to 2 days per week. This is something I've not done yet that I want to bring up with my office manager. Still working up the courage to do that. But I have days at work where I don't even talk to people. I'm on the computer. You know, I could have done that from home. So with phone and email and video capabilities through the internet, there's almost no reason to go to work every single day, deal with traffic, deal with pointless meetings and coworker interruptions and things like that. I like my coworkers, but actually I'm probably the interrupter more than I am the interruptee, so I should be careful on that one. Anyway, but yeah, 1 to 2 days a week working from home would be good. I'm going to look into that. Well, that's all I have for now. I appreciate you listening to this. I hope this has been helpful. I will put some information about my businesses in the comments section if you're interested. Again, I appreciate your time, and I will see you next Saturday. I'm thinking about doing something involving how we're the youngest of the baby boomers, people my age. I don't know if we should concede the technology revolution we have in this world to the millennials. I mean, what kind of experience do they have? Anyway, that's something I'm mulling over for next week. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.